And we are live. Welcome back to Uncomfortable Combos. It's your boy, your boy Scarface, and I want to welcome you guys back again to another episode. Shout out to everyone who keeps listening every week. You guys, just the support from you guys is unreal, and I love it. You guys continue to motivate me every week to continue to put these episodes out for you guys because there's a lot of value in them for you guys, and you guys truly and thoroughly enjoy them. So I'm going to continue to do these for you. Shout out to everyone who did wish me a happy birthday. It was on Saturday, July 12th. Shout out to everyone. And if you swung by the Salt and said what's up, thank you for stopping by. And thank you to everybody who sent gifts as well. I did the whole Amazon thing because you guys kept asking. And, you know, I got like this bracelet sent to me and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm truly, truly, truly grateful for you guys. And shout out to the people who bought stuff from the sponsor, naughtyscience.com. So if you guys need tools, you know, for those experiments at home or with your partner, definitely click the link in the bio. And I also got a special discount for you guys on the podcast only. So definitely go check it out. It's trust me, I've been using some of these things and they are... And some of the stuff, if you haven't followed me on the subscribe page over on IG, you know they're not so hot, you know. So I ended up taking them off the store too. So again, thank you guys again for always supporting your boy. I really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. But you know, something that I get told a lot. Sorry, I'm over here because I just got out of the shower, so I don't know why I tend to sweat after I get out of the shower. But something that I get asked all the time is like, can you be in love with your partner? Or can you love your partner but not be in love with them? And yes, you can. It happens all the time. So I'm going to give you the 10 different reasons, like 10 different signs or tells that your partner may love you but not be in love with you, if that makes sense. So again, click the thumbs up, 5-star review wherever you're listening to this because it does go a long way for the podcast. And I really do appreciate you guys. Let's get into it. The first one that I have is you care about their well-being, but you don't crave their presence. You genuinely want them to be happy and safe, just not necessarily with you or not at all. You know, and so this is 100% true. And I tell this people all the time, especially on the TikToks, IG, also Twitch. Now we're going to be streaming on Twitch, that you can care for their well-being. Hey, like I wish the best for you. Like I really do care for you. I really want you to be happy. I really want you to be safe. You know, I don't want nobody to hurt you. But I'm not in love with you to the point where I want to do these things for you. I want to be intimate with you. I want to do all the boyfriend, husband material stuff for you. Like I don't love you in that way. And also, you don't crave their presence anymore. You know, like before, you wanted to be around that person, and now you're just not. So like, you care for them, but you would rather not go seeing them. And we've all been there. Like when you, I'm not saying everybody, but most people, if you've been in like a toxic relationship or a shitty relationship or a relationship that you have checked out, you're really not looking forward to seeing them. You're not really looking forward to be like, man, like now I got to go see him, right? And so those are signs too. Like take this as a sign for yourself or take this as a sign for your partner. If your partner doesn't want to see you, you know, like they might not be in love with you anymore, right? And if you don't want to see them either, you would rather think about a side piece or maybe stepping out of your relationship. If you think about that more, spending time more there, you're not in love with your partner. And also, if you're in love with them, you're not going to cheat on them. Again, you can love them, you know, care for the well-being, make sure they're safe, make sure take care of them, pay for the whatever bills, but you're not in love with them. So you go look for that type of connection somewhere else. You know, again, cheating stems from a whole bunch of other things. It's not necessarily that. It could be that. It could be a multitude of things. So that's something just to think about. You know, if you're with somebody and you've been with them for a while and that number one hits you pretty hard, you know, start thinking about how to have this conversation with that person. Okay. The second one that I have is the chemistry is gone or was never really there. You're emotionally connected like a close friend or a family member, but the spark, attraction, or romantic desire feels forced or faded. Now, I give this example too quite a bit. Let me take a drink of my salud. They need to sponsor the podcast and a little bit of tequila in there. So now, a while back ago, there is this couple, and I never thought that they were actually in a relationship. Never once. They never held hands. They never were close. They never were like, you know what? You can tell if someone's like boyfriend and girlfriend or husband and wife. They sometimes, like he'll grab onto her, slap her butt, kiss her, or they joke around, or they get close to each other, right? And then there was this couple. I had no idea they were married. They didn't do none of that. They were usually pretty distant with each other. That relationship ended up not working, clearly, but even I felt weirded about that. Like I'm like, if that's his wife, why doesn't he hold her hand, try to kiss her, or at least make other people feel that you guys are married, right? They did not seem like they were a married couple at all, not one bit. When they told me that they were married, I was like, what? Really? I knew they were always like they were together and stuff. Maybe that I thought they were like friends or something like that, relatives of, like I really didn't think about it. Like I didn't really, I don't remember what I thought they were. I thought they were relatives, to be 100% honest. And then come to find out that they were married, and I'm like, they're married? Could not tell at all. And so that's why you have to pay attention to that. Is that chemistry there? Like, do you want to be with your person? Are you attracted to them? Do you still flirt with them? Do you still try to look for them? Do you still try to do little things for them? You can care for their well-being, but just it doesn't mean you're in love with them where you want to do these things. There's some people who can also relate to, like, they didn't even want to be intimate with their partner anymore, right? Because they're just like, I just don't see them that way. Every time we do something, it feels forced. I also saw this, funny enough, that just came into my head. I knew this one, like they were going through issues with their relationship. And one time the guy tried to kiss the girl, and it was the most awkward, forced kiss I've ever seen. Like the girl was kind of like turning her head away, but like finally decided to give him a little kiss when he went in for a kiss, and I was just like, well, this is awkward. That moment where you just like, you act like you didn't see it and you just like look away and like act like someone's on the phone. I'm like, hello? Yeah, that's how exactly I felt. But you need to realize that. You need to actually, like, when you're in it, like if you're going through something like this, you need to realize that, hey, like a lot of these things are hitting that he's saying, now we got to reevaluate this. Let me talk to my partner. That's the first thing you got to do, is try to fix it with them. Don't assume that it's just going to fix over time. It is not. Talk to them. And if they don't want to fix it, like if you've offered, hey, let's do couples therapy, counseling, something, let's try to do something to get this chemistry back. And if they don't want to, now you have to make another decision. Is this the way you want to live? Or would you rather separate and go through a whole breakup, healing, and then finally be able to be happy and with somebody who's going to take care of you? So think about that. The next one that I have is, you rather spend time alone or with others. You enjoy your alone time, or you find yourself prioritizing time with friends, work, or hobbies over time with your partner. Again, like, I don't understand how some of these people, like, I get it. Have your boys' night, have your girls' night, hang out with the work guys, work girls, work fam, or if you have some sort of hobby. But if you're choosing to do that rather than to go home to your person, even if on the flip side, if your partner, say you're a girl and you're married, obviously, and he'd rather go do this and this and this, and then you barely get to see any time of him because he chose a hobby, he chose his friends over you, he may not be in love with you anymore, or you may not be in love with him if you're doing the same thing. So you have to see these things. Don't just assume. Again, don't just assume that some of these things are going to be fixed over time. They are not. If you don't say something, bring something up, it may be too late. Like you may have waited way too long where you guys just like grew way too far apart. If you catch it early on, maybe you guys can fix it. The moment you feel a shift, the moment you feel a change in the relationship, say something. Don't just wait. Like, I don't understand why people wait. It's never just going to correct itself one day and it's just like, oh, it's all better now. Like, no, that's not how it happens. So think about your schedule. Because again, I know we all got to work. I know we all have, like, we want to hit the gym. But if they're not making you a top priority, you're not making them a top priority, it might be like some sort of issue going on there, and I get it. Like and see, like this can be broad. If your person is hustling hard because they're trying to make something happen after work, they focus on the side hustle, trying to make that into a bigger hustle. Okay, I get that. I understand that. But they need to communicate that with you. Be like, hey, like I know I'm not going to be around a lot, but I got to make this happen. If I make this happen, it's going to be better for you and me and the family and so on and so forth. That's why you talk about these things. And if that's your man, support him. If that's your girl, support her. But if they're just doing random shit just so they don't spend time with you, think about that one. Okay. Physical intimacy feels like a chore. You may still have sex, but it lacks passion. You do it out of obligation, routine, or keep the peace, not because you're genuinely drawn to them. And I think this is something else that happened too in my relationship of 7.5 years. A lot of the stuff felt forced. We tried implementing date night too late. It felt forced. We try to find that spark again. It felt forced. Like sex felt like it was just like the same thing. It was bland. It was boring. Like, mainly because we didn't do much to, whose fault was that? I don't know. It could have been mine. Could have been hers. That's in the past now. But like it probably could have been fixed early on if we would have had that conversation early on, right? And again, we were young too at the time, so like that's why it's harder when you're younger because you're still growing, you're still trying to find yourself as a person. I felt like I think I talked about that before. I felt like I wasn't supposed to be in that relationship, for the longest time, and even before we actually got into a serious relationship, I didn't want to. If we're going to be 100% honest, I still remember that when I told her, I was like, I don't think we should do this. I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, cause this and this and this, I just don't want to do it. And then she obviously made the changes and made it happen. And I was just like, well, maybe I am supposed to do this, but that I remember my gut feeling telling me at that beginning, I was like, don't do this. Like, it was like, don't do this. Like, don't do this. And I shouldn't have done it. But again, hindsight is 2020. We can't really do anything about it now. But that's why I'm saying pay attention to that, because we eventually grew apart. There was no more chemistry there. There was no more passion there. Like, none of that. We tried doing everything way too late. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if physical touch and stuff like that feels forced later on, there could be some problems there, And if you start feeling a change too in physical intimacy early on, I always say it, bring it up. Tell them, yo, we used to do it 5 times a week. We only did it 4 last week. Are you okay? Is everything all right? Have that. Don't let them start slacking, because I'm telling you guys, it goes from 5 days to 4 to 3 days, 2 days a week, 1 day a week, once every other week, once a month, once every few months, once a year. And then there's some people who've gone 5, 10, I've seen it all. I'm not even joking, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years without being intimate, because they just thought it was okay, thought it was fine. No, it's absolutely not. Now they're a lot older and you lost a lot of your good years. I mean, you can still have fun now, now that you finally realize that, but imagine all the other fun you could have had, all the other person you could have found. But you were stuck with this person who was not loving you correctly. So pay attention to the physical intimacy. The next one I have is you don't fantasize about a future together. You don't daydream about marriage, kids, or growing old with them. You're just in the moment, coasting or unsure. Now, again, you should have had this conversation early on about marriage, kids, because some people don't want kids. Some people don't want to get married. Some people, want to get married but don't want, have that conversation. And if they don't plan that, again, it goes back to my 7.5 year relationship. We were never married. I never had the inkling to ask her to marry me because I didn't see her probably because I kept trying to. I remember I was like, one of these days I'm gonna leave. One of these days I'm gonna leave because I'm not happy in this relationship. I'm just waiting for the right moment. The right moment. That right moment never came. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that right moment never comes. Man, I can't believe I tell you guys a lot of this shit. Like before, I wasn't even super private about everything. So must be the tequila. uh, so that's why, like, if you're not planning future stuff, hey, next year let's go do this. Hey, like, let's go do that. Uh, let's talk about when are we gonna have kids, like this is and that. Uh, but having kids in a planning nice manner, not like having a fight and then having a kid thinking it's gonna save the relationship. No, there's so many people who have kids or get married thinking it's gonna save the relationship. If your relationship sucked beforehand and you had a kid, what makes you think it's going to get better? It's only going to get worse. Now you still have a shitty relationship, but with a kid. Or now you have a shitty relationship or you get married. Now you're married in a shitty relationship and it's going to be harder to leave. So think about that. Are you guys planning for the future or do you see your partner in the future? Do you see hanging out with your partner, like doing this? Hey, like I want to do this. Like one of these years, let's go here. Let's travel here. Let's save up to do this. Let's have this kind of goal. Let's get married by this year. So all this should be like talked about. And if there's no talks, not even nothing about it, could be that they're not in love with you, or it could be that you're not in love with them anymore to the point where you feel like you want to do that with them. So definitely pay attention to future things. And especially if you guys talked about having kids and those talks don't happen anymore, talked about getting married and he hasn't proposed. If he hasn't proposed in over 2 years, because I get it, sometimes people's financial situation is a little different, and they're trying to get everything situated. I know this one guy that like before he asked his girl to get married, he wanted to get a house, like a good house to raise a family and stuff. And it took a little bit longer. And that's fine because he had a plan to his process instead of just being like, maybe one day. No, he didn't want to be living in where he was at. He wanted to get a home because he knew he wanted to have kids. So he was engaged a little bit longer than usual, but he still got married. That he had a plan. So definitely pay attention to that. The next one I have is you feel guilty for not feeling more. You think things like they're such a good person. Why don't I feel more? Or they deserve better, but you stay out of comfort or fear of hurting them. There's always those people who don't want to leave because of the kids. Don't be doing that. Like I'm sure the kids would rather see two happy homes than one toxic ass home, or one home where there's not that type of love that you want to show your kids. Right? You should show your kids it's okay to separate and be happy with somebody else, but still be cordial co-parenting because sometimes it just doesn't work out. Right? And instead of treating somebody else like shit or just being in that relationship where it's shitty, now that's all they know is a shitty relationship. So they think that's the norm. So, um, like if you're feeling like also they're such a good person, like why don't I feel more for them? Pay attention to that. And fellas, also pay attention to that. If you feel the same way to your lady, your wife, your girl, whatever the case, tell them. They want to know because if there's a problem going on, maybe we can fix it instead of just assuming things are going to get fixed. Too many people are out here assuming. Way too many people out here assuming. And that's a huge problem because we always assume, we always think it's going to be better over time and it never fixes. Has it probably fixed in the past? Probably. But do I see that? No. Again, it's not going to be super bumpy and then out of nowhere be like a smooth coast ride, beautiful butterfly and rainbows. No, absolutely not. So, and then also if you're feeling like, man, like don't give them what they want. They deserve so much better than me. And so do you. They deserve better and you deserve better. And unfortunately, your guys' situation is not that. Sometimes you have to accept that. Again, people are always like, you have to make relationships work. So many people divorce so easily. Um, I think it should be harder, like, to get married. Like, you have to go through something else, because then if you get divorced, it's because something bad. It's so easy to get married now. It's so easy to get divorced. It's just like another breakup, but then a more expensive breakup, a long breakup. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it should be harder to get married instead of just fucking the going to the courthouse and, hey, here we go. No, there should be a process to everything. They shouldn't be able to get married same day. It should be like, all right, cool. This is when you submitted. We can have you guys married in a few months, and then we'll see. We'll see where that relationship is at in a few months. Um, but that's why I said, like, it's good and bad. Like, there's some people who made their relationship work, but they're not happy. Like, let's be fucking honest. But there's some people who are happy that made that relationship work because they refuse, because of religion, culture wise, that they're not going to get separated because it's not a thing. And yeah, granted, they do end up fixing. People do end up working out, but some people are clearly not happy together. Clearly not happy. But because of religion, because of culture things, uh, they don't leave, and so they're stuck in a shitty situation. No, like, I'm not gonna be stuck in a horrible relationship because of culture, because of religion. None of that. Absolutely fucking not. If I'm not happy in it, bye. See you. We gone. Like, if we try to make it work and it didn't work out, gone. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, it should be so much more difficult to get married. Not so easy, because people just be getting married thinking it's gonna be a fucking cure for the relationship. No. And then some people be cheating all the way up until the fucking marriage, and then they're like, I'm not gonna cheat anymore. Then they continue to cheat. And we've all heard those stories. Stop acting like you haven't. The next one that I have is, there is more peace than passion. You're not fighting, but you're not thriving. Things are calm, but not exciting. Stable, but not stimulating. And trust me, I know a handful of people who are just like that. They're just going through the motions, living day by day. They're not, it doesn't show that they're passionate with each other. Like, usually when you see somebody who's pretty into each other, they're holding hands, they're flirting, they're talking, they joke around. Of course, no relationship is perfect. People argue. I get that 100%. But if there's no, like, if you're not even fighting, that's a problem, because some things piss people off, right? And you have arguments. You do something that started an argument. You said something that started an argument. There should be some sort of passion there. There should be some sort of, hey, like, things are growing, we're getting better, like, we're doing this, we're doing that. Hey, happy to see you. Let's have a conversation. You know, that type of happy home, right? Like, I give shout out to my parents for being those type of parents. Uh, is like, they would go to still dates, go out, hang out together. Uh, they talk to each other every day. My dad calls my mom every day on his lunch hour, right? Continues to, like, also put in effort because, that's his wife. That's my mom. um, but it takes work from both people. So, and then you can tell, like, they'll joke around with each other. They'll make fun of each other. Like, they still continue to do that, um, 30 plus years married together, and they continue to do that, and that's why I'm saying I'm lucky that I got to see that compared to other people's type of environment, because there's some people who don't grow up in this type of environment, and, I can't relate to them, and, but do I feel bad for them? Absolutely. So pay attention to the passion between you guys. Pay attention to, like, if you guys are even arguing, fighting, um, if there's some sort of spark. If you guys are just seeing each other, hey, how's it going? Yeah, whatever. You guys sit on the couch, just watch TV, or you go in your room and do your thing. He goes in another room, does his thing, and then you guys meet up at night to go to bed, and you're just like, all right, good night, love you, see you tomorrow. Talk about boring. So, all right, the next one that I have is you crave emotional or romantic attention elsewhere. You may not cheat, but you think about it, it would feel to be desired by someone else or feel deeper connection when talking to others. And that's why a lot of people cheat is because they crave that connection. They crave that attention from somebody. They're not getting it at home. So guess what? The moment somebody gives them a little bit of that attention, they're like, "Oh, that feels good. That feels great. I want some of that." And that's why I'm saying, like, if you're thinking about cheating and you end up doing it, it's gonna be very hard to close that Pandora's box, because once you open it and you get a little taste of something different, maybe it's better. Maybe there's a connection there. Maybe there's passion there. And now you're just like, oh, I love that. My man or my girl at home doesn't give me none of that. Like, I love this feeling. Let me go back one more time. Let me go back one more time. And then before you know it, you a year in, 2 years in, um, or you just get excited to talk to somebody else. Not even your husband, your wife. You don't get excited to talk to them. It's more of an annoyance that they're trying to talk to you. You want to talk to your side piece more, or like whoever it is, a friend at work, a friend at the gym, just because you like that type of connection. There was somebody back in Idaho. I remember fucking cheating galore at the fucking gym I was at. I ended up finding that out. Uh, it's funny because there was a couple that I would see all the time. They would always work out together. They seemed to be happy, right? Another couple seemed to be happy too. And then come to find out that, and they even hung out with each other. Crazy, I know. And then they ended up catching, like, and this girl had his wife at the time was a baddie. Like, she was hot. She was in shape. She was like a baddie, right? Even I shot my, like, when I first saw her at the gym, I tried shooting my shot, got denied because she was married, clearly. And I was like, all right, whatever. At least I tried. But he ended up cheating on her with his homie's wife. And they got caught at the gym parking lot. They got caught smashing at the gym parking lot. Again, shit goes around quick, Cheeseman goes around quick. The tea gets flowing pretty fast. And they told me what happened. And I was like, damn. And then she ended up leaving him. The ones that cheated, they ended up getting together. It was a huge shit show, But that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know what's going on. But if you're not happy, or if you're not getting that emotional connection, that attention from your partner, stuff like this could happen. And then that's when you know that maybe you're not in love with them anymore. Like, you love them, you care for them, you wish for their well-being, you support them, but you're not in love with them to where you want that connection from them. You want that attention from them. You want that touch from them. You crave it more from somebody else, or you want it from somebody else. If that's no longer, you don't have that feeling towards your partner anymore, could kind of mean that you're not into them anymore. So, all right, I'm getting a little parched over here. All right, so the next one that I have is you'll go through the emotions. You say, I love you, kiss goodbye, do date nights, but it feels like a routine, not a burning desire to connect. Again, I was stuck in that routine too, where we would do the same things. There was no connection there. There was no chemistry anymore. There was no spark. There was no passion there. Looking back, that's why when she finally told me she was going to move out, I said, yeah. I was like, because you're not happy, I'm not happy. Why are we doing this? It took for me to be like, all right, cool. Because every time she said she was going to leave, no, let's work it out. Let's do this. I'm going to try. And we went right back to the same thing. So, because at the time, I remember when I was playing video games, it was a huge issue for her. But here's the thing that I didn't realize back then, and I realize now, is I rather would go play the video game than spend time with her. Like, I didn't want to spend time with her. I wanted to spend time. I would use the video game as a means to spend my time, to get distracted, because I would go to the gym and get on the game and not really spend time with her because I didn't want to. I didn't feel that, like, desire to want to hang out with her. So that's why, like, and then same thing at night. All right, good night. See you in the morning. Have a good night. And then that's it. There was no like, oh, let's do this. Sometimes she would like hint it out that she wanted some. Sometimes I would hint it out, and she would act like she was sleeping. I'd be like, no, I'm just a little tired right now. Like, it was a long day. And just shit like that. It shouldn't be like that every day. So pay attention to that. That yeah, you can be going through these motions. Doesn't mean you were in love with that person. In love with that person is be like, all right, cool. Uh, like there should be a little bit more passion there, a little bit more desire there. Not just like, all right, kiss, leave. All right, see you. Boom, boom. Like you just go through these motions. And I get it when you have a career, they have a career, and you guys try to do everything. There's not enough time in a day, but you guys can dedicate like an hour, 30 minutes to each other. Like we're going to talk for an hour, no phones, and just connect. Um, I think that would be really healthy in a lot of relationships because you guys sit down in the living room to watch a movie thinking you guys are having like some sort of date night. One person gets on the phone, the other person gets on the phone. You're not even paying attention to the movie, not even paying attention to each other. You're on TikTok, you're on IG, scrolling. Your man's messaging another girl. uh, so definitely pay attention to like that's what I'm saying. Like if you can try to dedicate some time to your partner every day. You have time to binge watch these shows. You have time to go to the gym. You have time to go to like sleep for a long time. You have time to do all this other stuff. You can dedicate the love of your life. You can dedicate some time to her. Okay. And without kids, put them to sleep. Maybe it's after you guys put them to sleep from like 10 to 11. You guys just sit there and talk, maybe hook up. I don't know. Do your thing. Uh, but it should not be like that because laying in bed, watching TV, both of you guys are on the phone. Because I did that with my ex too. We were both in bed. We're spending time together. I'm doing air quotes. And she would be on her computer. I would be on my computer or on my phone. We're not even paying attention to the show. And like we're just doing other stuff. We're not really there in the moment. That's what I'm saying. Imagine if we would have just been like, all right, for this hour, no phones, no computers, just lock in. Let's either watch these shows and talk about it or uh, let's just talk about or talk to each other. Maybe hook up, be intimate, have fun, be spicy, try something new. All right. So the last one that I have is you wouldn't be devastated if the relationship ended. You'd feel sad, sure. You might even miss them, but deep down, you'd be okay and maybe even relieved. And to be 1,000% honest, that's how I felt after my long relationship. It was, yes, it was sad. Yes, it was, I had my ups and downs during that time. But for the most part, especially after it was over, I was just like, finally, because again, I wanted to leave for a while now. I wanted it to end. I was waiting for the right time. What time that was, I don't know. I still don't know. But finally, when I realized we were stuck in a cycle, and I'm just like, all right, I'm done. You know, hey, she told me, hey, she's like, I'm gonna move out. I'll come get my stuff later. This isn't working, and I was like, all right, cool. Just let me know when you're gonna come get your stuff. And she looked at me shocked as motherfucker. uh, because again, I was okay, and if you're okay with being like, I wouldn't be too bummed if we separated. I wouldn't be too bummed if they told me, hey, let's not do this anymore. So, but if you get anything out of this podcast, talk to your person, talk to your partner. That way you guys don't have to go through these type of things. And if the relationship is over, you'll know it's over and you guys can make the necessary things to move on to the next relationship, to heal, to break up. Cause trust me, you still gotta heal. I don't care. Like, after you break up with somebody, yes, you go through your motions. Everybody, reacts differently to a breakup. Some people get over it fast. Some people may get over it, very slow. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's okay. But again, I said all the time, I would rather go through a heartbreak than be cheated on, like be with somebody that's cheated on me in a relationship like this again. I don't want to do that again. I want something that's fun. I want something that's exciting, that's there's chemistry, that there's passion, that there's laughter. There's like, I want to hang out with the person, and if something starts changing, like we either need to fix it or maybe something happened and we need to go our separate ways. But hopefully, again, you guys got something from this podcast and you're going to actually think about it. And the next thing is to actually make things happen. What are the next steps for you? Don't just listen to the podcast and be like, oh yeah, I need to do this, but I'm not going to do it because I'm too scared, or I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. Nobody knows where to start. Again, go back to, I didn't know when I wanted to leave. I just didn't know when. I was waiting for the right time. When was the right time? I don't even know to this day when the right time was. It's just whenever you finally start making it happen. Like at the end of the day, you got to make it happen. They got to make it happen. If you feel like you're not in love with them anymore, like let's not put each other, like let's not waste each other's time. He could have found somebody else that is actually in love with them. You could have found somebody else that's actually in love with you, and you wouldn't be dealing with this, like wasting your time. Like, because then you look back and you're like, fuck, we should have ended it so long ago, like X amount of years ago. We wasted all this time trying to make it work for what? I waited this long thinking things were going to change and they never changed. So again, I want to thank you guys for always listening, always tuning in. If this helped you, please share it with somebody. Share it with somebody that's going to help. Again, Mondays and Thursdays, I go live 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time when I'm doing the questions, 8 p.m. when I'm just doing the random lives or just the regular live. I am going to start doing a lot more random lives, but they're going to be on Twitch. I'm going to do it on TikTok and Twitch for a while. And then slowly I'm going to start doing just the random ones on Twitch, because I eventually want to start doing, because over there, you can literally say whatever you want. And it's a great platform because you can do a lot of things, a lot of cool things. And you can even do the IRL, the real life streaming, which is cool because you can like have somebody follow you with the phone. Like if you're doing something cool, you can stream it and people can still participate. It's really cool. So I want to give that a try, especially because streaming is huge nowadays. And especially with TikTok and IG being super fucking sensitive about everything. And then there's that rumor of TikTok getting an English app just because they're trying to ban the other app, and there's a whole lot of things going on with TikTok. So that's why like I still have the IG, which is great, it's fine. We've been growing both of them, but I would rather put my eggs in another basket too as well, which is Twitch. So Twitch is becoming more and more popular. That type of streaming is becoming more and more popular, so you just got to adapt with the times and go with that. So link is in the bio. Follow me on Twitch. I'm going to start making that happen, so that way we can make shit happen over there. And it's not always about gaming. There's so many people who are like, I don't like to watch people game. We ain't going to game over there. I don't fucking game. Okay? We're going to be playing other games. Meaning like, we're playing a game. Anyways, I'll see you guys on the next one.